Inception. I mean, everyone's favorite movie's got to be Inception. Not favorite, but it's one of the best movies made recently. Here's why. Christopher Nolan is a director that always leaves people wanting more. He made The Dark Knight, and then he made Inception. So you have a movie that got people talking all about comic books that's great in its own right, at being a serious entry in a usually overcrowded with campiness genre. Dark Knight said, hey, Michael Keaton's Batman is not going to be the most serious Batman. We are going to be the most serious Batman. And Christopher Nolan did mean that. And he did a good job. I know people who don't like it, but I stand by that The Dark Knight is a really fun, gritty, grounded in reality movie. So when he did Inception, it really was an improvement on The Dark Knight almost, because Inception is probably one of the most campy sci-fi ideas there is. Like, imagine that, spies going into your brain to take an idea or plant an idea. It just sounds very cool. But executing it or making that movie actually exist seems very difficult. And somehow, Christopher Nolan managed to actually make this film. And not only did he do a good job with the concept, he really heightened it. He added action sequences, he adds tension, he adds cliffhangers, twists. It is a thrilling movie set inside the mind. If that doesn't give you chills just thinking about how epic in scope one man can make his film, I don't know what movies will impress you, because it's a really great feat in filmmaking. Inception follows Leonardo DiCaprio as Dom Cobb, this guy who is in espionage, and he is hired by Ken Watanabe to place an idea in the mind of Cillian Murphy's character. There's a team put together. It's really a 21st century spy movie, not even 21st century, but the way it's shot and everything, it's very modern. But the actual story feels so timeless, and at the same time so perfect to be made when it was made. It was made in 2010 with very big multi-million dollar budget, and it completely deserves all of its success. This is a movie that was just so ambitious from the start, and it succeeds in all of its convoluted ideas. It's a movie that could be so confusing and could leave the audience scrambling and rubbing their heads like, what the fuck did I just watch? I think it did. But if you're a coherent movie watcher, you will just love this. I remember the first time I saw it, I was confused by what the confusion was. I was like, how do people find this difficult? It's just multi-layers of dreaming. If you watch the movie, you'll understand what I'm saying. People go to sleep, and then in those dreams, they go to sleep. And then in those dreams, they go to sleep. And it's all just so you can have this really cool spy film involving people going into your mind while you sleep and planting ideas. That sounds fucking awesome. And Nolan really did a great job with it. He did one of the best jobs you could with a sci-fi movie. And not only was it really entertaining and thought-provoking, it was an awesome thriller movie. Inception is one of the best movies of this decade. It's one of the best action movies, and it's also just one of the coolest films. It solidified Nolan as a filmmaker who was going to take way more risks than we thought he was, because the man just made Memento, The Prestige, made good movies, made the entire Dark Knight trilogy, and he came out with that. He didn't make Dark Knight Rises, but he'd also made Insomnia, which was about the soul. He captures everything. He's a great director, and Inception is easily one of my favorite movies.